Welcome to the No Pressure, No Diamonds podcast, where entrepreneurs come to harness their struggles, doubt, fear, negativity, and setbacks. They place pressure on the blessing of adversity to become the strong, fearless, excited, passionate winner they were destined to be. A diamond.
Man, the year-end episode, bro.
Like legit, literally, it's December 31st.
Yo, the year-end episode, man. It is
Crazy.
the last day of the year, man, and I'm gonna make sure this go out today. So it'll be out actually. So
Fuego.
y'all be able to tap into this, man. And we going off the top today, man. And my name is Alex Rose. First things first, my name is Alex Rose. I got my boy
Thomas Solano.
Yeah, and we here in the No Pressure, No Diamonds podcast, man. And man, this is the closeout episode of 2021. Man, it's been a great, amazing year, bro, hasn't it?
Yeah, man. I mean, there's been so much that's gone on, but the fact that we made it through, I think, is amazing in itself, right? I mean, we're blessed, and I'll only speak for myself, but yeah, man, blessed to make it through another year and experience a couple birthdays with my kids, right, and have them grow a year older, and another anniversary with the wife, and another year good business. And we've made some progress on the podcast and great associations. And yeah, man, the year's been incredible.
And you know what's interesting, and it's funny because one of my buddies or one of our friends, Zulu, man, what he says is something that his dad used to say, and he would always talk about this. He's like, man, so what'd you learn today? Every time we come back from school, he'd always ask him, what'd you learn today? And if he didn't say, oh, I don't know, or whatever the case is, like, all right, then today was a waste because you didn't learn anything. So, when I think about this year, man, or, and I'll ask you this question. So when you think about this year, man, what, and this might be a loaded one, but what did you learn about yourself this year?
That I can be stronger. And I'll elaborate. And like one thing specifically is I got sick towards the end of this year, and I'll just be completely open and honest about it. Me, my wife, and both of our kids ended up COVID positive, which I think everybody on the planet will eventually be at some point. I don't wish it on anybody. I just think that's what's going to happen, right?
Everybody gets sprinkled on.
Yeah. But yeah, man, we ended up all tested positive. Kids didn't affect them at all, man. They had a runny nose for a day or two and a cough. My wife, she has asthma, so she got a little bit of some tightness in the chest, but nothing. A little puff of the inhaler, didn't take care of, and she had a little minor fatigue, but she never stopped. She's incredible. She took care of my butt for almost 3 weeks, but it kicked my tail, dude. And coming out of it, I had that realization. Like, my wife's in great shape. She exercises daily. She looks good, right? My kids are young, strong, healthy, not overweight. They eat well. And then there was me. And so, yeah, man, coming out of that, I realized that I need to be stronger. Not just physically, right? Obviously in better shape and losing weight. And I think that's what people attribute health to, just being at a healthy weight, but also mentally, because it actually, man, going through that, it kind of knocked me on my heels, man. And there was a couple of days where I had some really weak moments mentally. And it was eye-opening. It was eye-opening coming out of it, again, thank God. But coming out of it, that was my realization, and it's probably what sticks out because it was so close to the end of the year. It was literally like 2 months ago, right? There was obviously some other lessons and things like that, but for myself, that's the number one thing, and the number one focus is getting healthy, getting strong physically and mentally, so that I can be all that I'm destined to be for my wife and kids specifically, brother. So that was probably my biggest takeaway was I need to work on me and focus on me a little bit more.
Yo, that's interesting. And as I think about what you were saying, and working on yourself and becoming a better version, and ultimately, the best version of you.
Sure.
And that's like, whether it's, we talk about the four F's, right? Faith, family, fitness, finance, business fits in that too.
Yeah.
Right. But faith, family, fitness, finance, right? And having maybe something going on in our mind consistently, and I know this with myself, is I know that I can do way better at having those things be more at the front end of my mind more consistently. Like being focused, having an intention, having more of an intention when it comes to faith, right?
Sure.
Having more of an I'm starting to get a little bit better at the fitness thing, just a little bit better.
You look good, bro.
Man, it's crazy, man. This year,
and you should thank me because you're sitting next to me, so that enhances it tenfold.
Hey, real talk, man. Hey, what really got it popping, man? When I was at my dad's house, man. He was like, yo, you looking. I went to my dad's house, he was COVID, so we in the house, COVID was strong at that, we was heavy in the COVID. This is before the gyms opened up and everything. And went to my dad's house and we was hanging out, and my dad had zero filter. Bro, we need to have him on the show one of these times because he's crazy. But zero filter, and he was like, man, you looking a little fat. No, everybody was there, dog. I was like, what? He's like, nah, bro, you getting a little, you know what I'm saying? I was like, first of all, I'm looking right at him. I'm like, who are you talking about? First things first. But then I looked down and I was like, oh, yeah, I got one of those now. And it was just because, obviously gyms was closed and stuff, but still no excuse. You know what I mean? Still like really no excuse for that because I was getting a little, just a little sloppy. And so I've been focusing on the fitness part. So dropped about a little bit over 25 pounds since,
That's
July.
major.
And feeling better. So still a little bit to go, but that's been an area I've been focused in. So faith. Then the next thing is family, right? So I got married this year, and that it took on a new. Cause I've never really been like the whole everybody get together, be around a whole bunch of people. Like it's cool. Like I'll go to a family function and stuff like that, but if I didn't go, like it's not gonna ruin my day, or you know what I'm saying? Like I haven't always been like that encompassing family guy, you know?
Right.
And I really didn't start thinking about that until I got married. Until I got married and we was, building like a little routine and stuff like that. And I started thinking like, man, what traditions are we going to have? Like what are some things that, that whether my parents do that I'll take on and I'll start doing, or start maybe creating our own traditions and start doing some stuff like that. And when am I, now it's not just me anymore. Like I'm just not taking care of me. I'm just not covering myself. I'm covering somebody else now. Right. And that's something that it was like, oh shit, dude. Whoa. Like it was it just hit me between the eyes. So I really started thinking a little bit more about that, recently. But now it's focusing on how we're going to grow it. Like, what are some things that I can do to help lead a family?
Right.
Instead of just leading myself, and I can meander and do whatever. But now it's leading not just me, but it's also leading somebody else. And being in a blessed situation that, that person is, sees me as somebody that they can follow too.
Right.
Because that's a big thing. And then next thing, in the last part, is finance and and things like that, and business. And one thing that I know that I can do a lot better on focusing on is keeping certain things top of mind all the time, Mm-hmm. So when it comes to whether, and we've had just, I'm just so glad about this, what we have accomplished and what we've done. And now, and we were almost, and I felt like it a little bit, kind of shooting from the hip a little bit, especially at the beginning, because we didn't really know what we was getting into.
Right.
Which I think is, which how a lot of things go. But now knowing what we're into, now I'm more excited to build a structure and a plan around, to build more of a plan around what we're doing. Right?
You're talking about you and Tina and lifestyle building. Is that what you're talking about, or are you talking about?
Well, I was talking about business now. So now, and that as well. So that falls into that. So I'll think about like financially. So this year, probably, after doing the numbers, like probably made more like income wise than ever. Like as far which is thank goodness, because now we live in a place that's more expensive than we ever lived
Right.
before.
Isn't it funny how location and where you are, like the environment can kind of force you and drive you
Yeah.
to beyond boundaries that you thought you had or
Gotta meet that
abilities and
challenge,
stuff.
dude.
Oh man, dude, it's incredible. And I've seen that in you, dude. It's awesome. But go ahead, my bad.
Man. Yeah, so having more of a structure, right? Because this last year has been a whole lot of new. Because literally this time last year, damn, can I say this time last year? We weren't married. Yeah, obviously we weren't married. Were we living here? But we were living here. So I want to say about a year and a half ago, it was like, man, it was just crazy because we're still at it because we didn't live together. So me and Tina didn't live together. We were both at our parents' house. You know what I'm saying? We were both,
so traditional.
We were both, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. Like and I don't want to say, you do things like the right way. Like as long as you stay together and have a productive life and a family, like there's not necessarily a right way, but we did it in like an ABC type of thing.
Sure.
And then we moved in, we got engaged, moved in and started, that, which was crazy. But now it's building more of a structure for a household now.
Right.
We've just been able to operate, but now it's okay. How do we maximize? And really just start planning our life. So when it comes to financially and stuff like that, having goals that way and keeping it top of mind. Just seeing it constantly. Before, now and before, it was just when we think about it, but now it's got to be more of a focus, like maybe every couple of days, every week. It has to be has to be a consistent focus, because the only things that improve are the things that we focus on. You know what I mean? Like
the positive things that you focus on, because you can focus on negative too, and
true.
You end up with more of that. So
yeah, absolutely, man. So that was just focusing kind of in those 4 F areas, man: faith, family, fitness, finance, and developing in those. It was cool because we had kind of that conversation with who was it, Corey and Latour. Like I think they talked a little bit about that, or he talked a little bit about that, and it just brought up just so many thoughts in my head. Like, oh, okay, it's really interesting, man, and just having more of a plan and having more of a strategy towards building a life
plan.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, man, it's absolutely important for the relationship, and for me, that's always been my primary focus, and so part of the shift that I think needs to happen going into 2022 for me is very similar to what you said. It's keeping some of these goals, specifically business goals, and at the forefront, right? Like being always conscious and gauging growth in that area. And I'll tell you why. If any of you listening know Alex and I, that we're far from shallow, right? It's not just like, hey, I want to win in business because, there's no ego or pride or anything behind that. Well, I shouldn't say pride, but it's not ego driven, the want for success in business, at least not for me. And I feel confident in saying not for my guy.
I just want
here,
Lambos, Bugattis, and Ferraris.
Right?
That's all I want.
Let me get them foreigns. Nah, man, like that stuff is nice, but for me, it's really about building security and keeping the doors of opportunity open, not just for my kids, but for my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, my great-great-grandchildren, and beyond. And closing out this year, man, I just realized that I really need to have a focus on that, right? I'm blessed to have a family. I don't take them for granted. I enjoy spending time with them, but I realized that I enjoyed it a little too much last year. And kind of took my foot off the pedal, so to speak, at all the wrong times, dude. Like we'd have so many moments where there's momentum being built, And I don't know, I gave myself a little grace or a little, hall pass and decided to kind of chill out a little and
Yeah,
enjoy the family. And again,
I
nothing
feel you.
wrong with that. Um, but momentum is promiscuous. Do you remember that episode?
Yo,
And
man.
if you don't keep it and hold on to it and build on it, it's gonna dip out on you quick and go somewhere else.
Mm,
And so
the next suitable suitor.
yeah, we experienced that, man, a couple of times last year. And so I guess long-winded way of me saying that to better serve my family, and put us in positions of opportunity and options and true security and wealth and things like that. And again, the wealth I just explained to why it's important, for my family and generations to come. In order to be able to do that, I need to focus on building our business a little bit more. That needs to be the effort. But with that being said, I also need to get better at communicating with my wife and my children the time that I'm going to be away, and then those reasons why,
Mm,
so that I can avoid the guilt, right, of like not being there, because that's happened too. It's like, Daddy, you going to come to my game? I'm like, no, man, I got to go train at the office, or whatever.
mhm.
And but it's in the moment, not advance notice. And it's
Yeah,
really unfair, especially to my kids. They don't get it. They just want to see me there.
yeah,
So
dang.
that was one of my takeaways.
Yo, that's huge, man. And having like you said, it all comes down to having operational hours, right? So
Yeah.
when you're operating in your maximum in your max state in that time period, then it allows for when you're say kind of taking a step back, or you're having family time, that you can be totally present. You know what I'm saying? Because you know that you've you've totally maximized the time that you spent build when it comes to building business, when it comes to building a business and expanding in that realm. So and that's so interesting you talk about that, dude, and just being more upfront, and just I'm gonna say upfront, but just having more open communication.
Hmm.
Because sometimes I'll be honest, like sometimes I'm with my wife and stuff. Like I don't have like it's not that I don't want to have open communication. Sometimes I don't even know what to say, or don't even know what to you know what I'm saying. Like I'm in my own head. Like I have all these ideas, and I don't want to seem like I'm just throwing stuff at the wall. I'm like, I need to have a plan before I talk to you. And to take, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I need to have a program before we have this conversation. I never end up putting the program together, and then we never have the conversation. And then guess what? We come to the end of the year, and then guess what? We need to do that.
Yeah.
So those are just things, man, that I realize that going through, just taking kind of a personal inventory. Like at the end of the year is such a great time. It's great to take personal inventory all the time, but man, and it's try not, obviously you're going to be tweaking plans, but you have totally dropped the ball if you're planning for 2022 in 2022.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean,
You know,
yeah, we had ours done, um, probably last week, and then I had the bones of it done. Then it wasn't completely structured, but so grateful for mentorship too, man.
talk
If
about that.
yeah,
Talk about that, man. Talk about that.
so yesterday, we had an hour block of time scheduled with our mentor, Jamie, and man, I came out of that and I was like, dude, I'm just so grateful. And I kind of felt a little shame, honestly, because I haven't fully taken advantage of the fact that we're in such close proximity to somebody who cares so much and wants to see us win, that she literally, her and Sean literally, man, dedicated their pretty much their entire day yesterday, every hour on the hour for 12 hours straight, and they're doing the same thing today, to sit with people that they believe in to develop.
Mm.
And so I'm just grateful. Yesterday, I kind of went over the bones of our plan with her, and she course corrected, and she said, hey, I'd like to see you change these words, right, and make them sound a little more positive, because some of it was still kind of negative, and operating from past experience versus where we're going. And so I was like, cool, I know that, I know better, but I didn't realize it, didn't catch it. And then she said, I want you to put some meat on the bones in this business area. She was like, your faith part sounds good. Your family is obviously good. You're great at this. You're great at that. You're good at this. But the business area needs a little more meat on the bones. And then and then we spent like 40 minutes talking about that. Now, by the way, Jamie is the top 1% of the 1%ers as far as income earning women in the world, right? Like not in the country, in the world. So extremely successful, also extremely busy. And just to have mentorship, right? I'm speaking specifically about mine, but for anybody that's going into business or thinking about going into business or maybe just climbing the corporate ladder, like find somebody who is where you want to be and has the lifestyle you want to have, and do as they say.
Yeah, coachability, man.
100%. You had mentioned something earlier, like, hey, now I'm starting to think about leading a family other than just leading myself. And we got a book from Jamie and Sean as a Christmas gift from John Maxwell, and it's called The Self-Aware Leader. And he talks about how almost all people are very good at analyzing or critiquing the outside world, right? But very few are self-aware of their own character flaws and where they can improve. And so like chapter 1 of the book, he says, before you can be a good leader, you need to be able to lead yourself. And so I was like, oh man, it was actually part of my plan before we started reading the book. Like, man, I got to get better at this. I got to get better at that. I got to be more accountable, right? I need to be a better follower because in order to be a good leader, you need to be a good follower first. And all of it was laid out in that book. My wife started reading it first, and she's like, look at chapter 1, and it's very interesting, right? And she like pinpoints these keys, and I'm like, damn, it's part of my plan. Our wives
have great
they know
great ability.
They know what we need, man. But it was interesting when you said that, because I was like, and I don't know. I mean, you're pretty good at leading yourself, and you're probably better disciplined than I am.
Don't give me that much credit,
but bro. Hey, but I'm just again, the point I was trying to make is that you should absolutely focus on leading yourself and accomplishing those things, building some momentum, some confidence, some self-belief, some faith in order for you to better lead Tina and your future children.
Yo, man, that's so interesting, man. And when it comes to being accountable, bro, it's so interesting when it comes to being accountable. That's just, like you said, keeping those promises to yourself, man. And when you say you're going to do something, just do it. Like that's it. All it comes down to is, man, just do it. And for me, there's two trains of thought. It's like one thing that gets me going is what won't happen if I don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily what will happen if I do, but kind of what gets me is like, okay, what won't happen if I do, if I don't do it, and or actually what will happen if I don't, or what will happen if I don't do it? What's the alternative? If I don't do it, what's the alternative? Crap, that alternative super sucks. So guess what? I gotta go get it. And I don't know if that's necessarily a negative frame of mind or just a just the frame of thought of thinking for me. And being in proximity is one thing that I've learned about myself this year, man, is being in proximity to greatness, right? And keeping that proximity to greatness, right? Because if you allow yourself to slip, then guess what? Those people are already great. So
with or without you,
with or without me. So guess what? What will happen is I'll fall by the wayside, and they'll continue to run. So what I've learned about myself is I have to continue to put myself in uncomfortable growth situations, right? And that's with becoming part of whether it's certain types of groups of individuals that already have successful businesses in their own right, right? That are developing themselves and becoming better every single day and every single week, but they're already operating at a I would, like their temperatures are already pretty high. You know what I'm saying? If it was 100-degree temperature, if you say the average person's operating at a 60-degree temperature, these people are already operating at a 90 and 100 degrees, right? So if my regression to the mean, if my just normal frame of thinking or my normal temperature is like a 75, right? I'm not all the way at a 60, but if my normal mean is like a 75 and I'm operating at a 75, then I need to get around people that are operating at a 90, operating at 100, operating at 110. So that'll, so by osmosis, that'll heat me up. And me being around those people long enough and building up those habits of a 90-degree person long enough, then my internal temperature will steadily start to crank up. It'll go from 75, 77, 85, 90, and then
it increases.
And it'll increase only because I'm proving to myself through accountability, proving to myself doing what I say I'm going to do, proving to myself that that I'm worth it. You know what I'm saying? That we're worth, the success that we want. Guess what? We deserve it. You know what I mean? We do deserve it.
When you're doing the right things, for sure.
As long as you're doing the right things, you can't. And one of the things you can't do is kick yourself in the butt when you know you haven't done the work. So that's one part. Also, another thing for myself is not to get down on myself. Especially when I didn't do the work. Now, if you're doing the work and it's not working out, then you might need to reassess. You know what I'm saying, and change some things. But it'll eventually happen. But one of the things you can't do is get down on yourself when you're not doing it, because then you won't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the things I realize is that if you're beating yourself up, or if I'm beating myself up for not doing something, then there's less of a chance of me to actually do it if I'm beating myself for not doing it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, it's like if I didn't go to basketball practice, or if I'm not going to basketball practice, and then in the game, I'm missing all these shots. I'm not doing good.
Which is usually what happens anyway.
You know what it is, dog. That's absolutely not the truth. Y'all who play with me, you already know what it is, dog. That's not even the fact. But, but you can't be mad at yourself because guess what? You didn't put the work in. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because you didn't put the work. Matter of fact, you probably won't even get in the game because you weren't practicing. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things that I'm realizing about myself is don't be down on yourself. Just do the work. Spend no time in no head down time, no chin down time, and get punched in the face. Guess what? You're back up on your feet. Don't spend extended periods of time without working. Because that builds up a different set of habits, and you start replacing whatever good habits you have with bad ones. So that's been just an interesting, interesting part of the year that I've learned about myself is just, is to start replacing some of those bad habits with good ones and putting myself in proximity and being around people that are already peak performing or operating as I would want to operate. Because it's like, dude, if you want to stay in the group, you have to operate. If you want to be around, you have to operate. Or guess what? You'll fizzle out. So, it's just playing up to the competition, man. Stop playing down to the competition out here, man. Play up to the competition. Then be the what do they call it? Be the example. But yeah, dude, I mean, I don't know. I learned a lot about myself this year, man. I learned a lot about myself, and now going into 2022. Going into 2022, bro, it's guns blazing, man. It's guns blazing right now, bro. We got some fire, bro.
Pew, pew, pew.
We got some fire coming up this next year, man. Y'all have no clue, but you will very soon.
Yeah,
and
there's some stuff that we can't even talk about, really.
Yo, I really wish we could just freaking talk about it.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yo, it's so crazy.
Hey, if you watch some of the other episodes, you might get a clue and have an idea if you decide to get your Sherlock on. Yeah. It's in there.
Yeah, it's for real. Huh?
Yeah, man. And that was probably, bro, you know what? from a business standpoint, aside from the things I just said, that was one of the biggest takeaways that I got from somebody outside of our business, familiar with our business, who was also a guest on the show, was ask and you shall receive.
Closed mouth don't get fed out here, dog.
Bro.
Legit. Yeah. For real.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was, and we've been talking about that over the last week or so. Like, bro, how crazy is that? Right? From sitting around your kitchen table to
that kitchen table was fire too.
It was, bro. I enjoyed it, man. It was a cool little intimate setting, man. We walk in during the setup. You got the old school R&B hits playing in the background, little Case and some Lloyd, some Dream, right?
Yeah, like, hey, man, we were in there.
Yeah, it used to go down. That was a bunch of fun, man. But
progression, man,
dude, from where it started to where it's going, and I don't even think we fully know the magnitude of the impact that's about to happen coming this year. I like to think that I do. But I just have this feeling like it's so much bigger than I can imagine, and my vision's going to be stretched. It's been stretched, but it's going to get strong. I'm going to have some stretch marks on this brain, man, and on the cerebral.
Yeah, man. And it's just realizing about yourself, man. What others see in you. You know what I'm saying? That another realization, man, is what is starting to realize. Like, yo. You do have the skills. You do have the ability. You do got it. You know what I mean? And you have the ability. I think a lot of folks out there have the ability. They're just not exercising in faith, man, and letting their skills do the work, bro.
Welcome to the No Pressure, No Diamonds podcast, where entrepreneurs come to harness their struggles, doubt, fear, negativity, and setbacks. They place pressure on the blessing of adversity to become the strong, fearless, excited, passionate winner they were destined to be, a diamond.
Like a lot of people are actually, man, they have the gift of gab, man. They have the capabilities. They put in some work, man. They put in those skills, man. They've done the appointments, right? They've sat down with folks. They've closed business. They've brought people into their firm. They've been able to take things from A to Z, and it's just, dude, do more of that. All it is just do more of it. And other people see more in you than you realize, man. Like more people see way more in you than we even realize.
Well, I feel like it's the right people too, man. Yeah. Because I'm just gonna be honest, man. I wasn't always positive, and I remember it's probably a little high school backyard house party that I was at years ago, decades and decades ago, just to age myself. But man, I remember having a couple of buddies come up to me and be like, bro, we're thinking about like starting this business. I don't even remember what the business was, but I always wanted to be the smart guy. And I was like, bro, have you thought about this? And have you thought about that? And have you thought about this? And like started putting all of these like what ifs it doesn't work, right? In their head. And dude, I mean, I don't know if they ended up going through with it or not, because we kind of separated. They probably separated themselves from me, man. So hey, if that was you and you remember
negative,
and you remember that, yeah, hey, I'm a whole different person now, man. Let's chop it up. But who knows, right? But the right people will see the right things in you, dude. And yeah, I was going to ask, but I had a thought when you were saying what you were saying on, how people don't give themselves enough credit. I think a couple things happen. You're either looking for like confirmation from the wrong people, right? Like I think you've mentioned it on the show before, and I know I've heard it before, but it's like, hey, if you want to go into business, stop taking advice from successful employees, right? So you want to be a successful business person, take advice from successful business people, not from somebody who hasn't done it before. And I think sometimes that's what happens to people when they have a little bit of that self-doubt or they lack belief or faith in their ability, it's either because they're around the wrong people, or what most humans tend to do, myself included, is focus on things that I need to improve on, right? Which we should do. Like we kind of mentioned that a little bit, but we should double down on the things we are good at. Like I know I have an incredible ability to communicate. So this last year, man, we made a ton of progress on the client side and stuff like that in our business. And part of the reason why was because my wife has gotten a little more involved and engaged. And so it allowed me to really focus on making that connection with our clients through communication and doing all that and sharing, the idea and the vision that I have for them and helping them out in that standpoint. And when they're like, yeah, we like it, we're on board, we're ready to go, we're ready to move forward, I say, perfect. Let me turn it over to my wife. She'll get all of that stuff squared away, all the structural stuff, the inputting of the information and those types of things. And my wife loves doing that kind of stuff. She likes kind of chronological order, checking things off of a list. And so she's there and she's inputting and taking the data and doing all that. And I'm like, cool. Do you want a cup of coffee? Like, I'll go make her a cup of coffee. She's doing what she likes to do. I just did what I like to do.
That's fire,
yeah, man. Now, until you're able to do something like that or hire an assistant or whatever the case may be, if you're not as blessed as me, which I don't think anybody is because my wife's incredible. But until that happens,
you great, Becky. You great.
Yeah, you have to do the dirty, right? You got to do the dirty. But I would double down on the gifts that you do have, know what they are, and if you don't know, get yourself a good coach, and they'll let you know. And then don't stop focusing on what you really need to improve on, because I think through the process of doubling down on your gifts, opportunities will be created naturally for you to get better at those areas that you need improvement on versus, before I do anything else, I got to get better at this. Like, no, you're just putting yourself in a box and in a corner. So, that was another takeaway that, man, we've got a lot of takeaways is what I'm realizing going through this and having this conversation. But that was another takeaway of mine, man. Like, hey, I'm good at talking and I like to talk and I like to communicate and I can do that pretty well and effectively. And then my wife loves organization and structure and data. And so, boom. Hey, tag, you're it.
Knowing how to fill roles, man, is big, man.
Better way to say it.
Yeah. Learning, putting people in the best position, putting yourself in position, I think is putting yourself in position and also learning other people's skills and figuring out how to put them in position and just realizing and highlighting people.
Bro, you passionate
about
this.
You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm out here, dog. Y'all can hear the passion, bro. That was the whole building was shaking over there. Nah, but
the gospel.
Man, just highlighting. One thing that I want to focus in on this next year is paying more attention and finding people's gifts and helping people pull those gifts out of them. You know what I'm saying? Really taking inventory of people's gifts and letting them know about it, like real gifts that they know about, like, because you can always shine people on about just, I would say, generic things, but getting to know somebody, but also being able to pull those gifts out, letting them know about it, and helping them achieve something, that right there is a leadership focus that I want to focus in on for this next year, man, is being able to do that and then have that be just a part of how I speak.
Yeah.
Because one thing, especially about just some of the mentorship and, like a Greg, like a Greg Cap or, so I'll use him just in as an example. Whenever I've talked to him, he remembered my name. I was like, well, this is so crazy because I know I'm not the best at remembering names. It takes me a bunch of times.
It's a negative affirmation, bro. Don't be saying that. You are the best.
Now I'm the best at remembering names all of a sudden right
the
now.
Memory bank right here.
The memory bank, man. I got what's that little thing you flip over, bro?
A Rolodex?
The Rolodex, bro. What's up here, dog? But man, he remembered my name every single time. and would ask about, oh, so how's your folks doing? And I'm like, whoa, crazy. I've only met you like, I don't know how many thousands of people this guy meets, and he remembers my name. I don't know if he has an earpiece in or what. And they're like, oh, that's
Somebody's helping him out.
Somebody's helping him out.
The eye in the sky, bro, big brother.
But man, that made me feel so good. And I was like,
100%. Yeah.
So if I can just take a little bit of that, right? Remembering people's names, next year it's on the list of things to improve on and be great at, but also being able to, realize people's gifts, man, and pull on that string, and let people know about their gifts, man. Hey, I just want to let you know that you're such and such, man. And we talk about each other all the time because we deal with each other all the time. But that's what I realized just about you, man. It's just you're such a like your communication with people, bro. Like every time we've had an episode, man, it's like you bring just another level of comfort to our guests. You know what I'm saying? Because you're so except for the guy that was doing the COVID stuff. No, I'm just kidding. I think
that was good. But yeah, cool. Man, that was strategic. I was trying to push a little bit, get some info out.
But you have you make it feel just people just automatically. I'm gonna say they melt, bro, but they like all the guards down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're able to become just instantly relatable. Finds it, boom, become instantly relatable, man. And that's such a like I see that as a gift to become relatable with anybody. Like that's amazing.
I appreciate that.
So that's just something that I'm noticing, and I'm gonna take some advice from you. Just you talking about how you and your missus operate is some of the things that I want to take away and start operating like that as well. Because I've been I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But then we have all these things on your plate, bro. You're like, I don't feel like doing nothing. So got to start delegating some of those things because I might be a little bit more technical, but I'm definitely not the, you know what I mean? Like I'm not the minutia type of guy,
right?
Like I want to, and I want to call it minutia. I want to call it like those things are very, very important. So I don't want to say minutia because minutia makes it sound like it's insignificant, but details. So big picture, Alex. Utilize other folks for some of the details to make sure the big picture can happen. Because if the details aren't happening, then the big picture, man, it's more of a dream than an actual goal. And and it's one of those things that you would love it to happen, but you're always gonna just come up short. You're shooting shotgun shells when we should be shooting sniper shots. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, this year I'm freaking fired up, dude. It's a little nerve wracking, right? Because it's a little nerve wracking, man. Because we talk about big stage situations, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be on that type of time. But when it comes to meeting a challenge, and exceeding expectations, bro, I feel like we're gonna be taking things to a whole nother level and exceeding even our wildest expectations, bro.
Yeah. Well, I know that's going to happen, bro. But I know that's going to happen because you're next to me, because without you, I seriously doubt that. Actually, I know that none of this would have ever happened. You've been the brains of the operation. You're obviously the technical one, but man, you've been the driving force, dude. And I just kind of been here and happy to support and happy to be in proximity with you in doing this, dude. And there's so many things that you're incredible about beyond the technical side, but the vision and, the guests and lining up and making those connections. Like, you're a great connector of people. And I see that you're getting better at that, dude. And that's awesome. So I think we got a good 1-2 punch. Probably the best 1-2 punch in boxing history, and people haven't even seen it yet. You know what I mean? The best is yet to come, obviously. And man, I'm pumped about it. I'm equally pumped. There's some nervousness, but I think the same feelings that we have of nervousness is actually the same feelings that are created when you're excited. So I'm excited, bro.
Sick, man. What are some of your, if you think, we didn't even talk about this right before, but what are some of your goals with the show? Like, what would you like this show to be next year? What would you like it to be like? Say same time, same December 31st,
And
right?
we're recapping.
Recapping, bro. What would you want to be, at this point next year? What would you like it to be?
I mean, I think obviously I'd love to have a wider platform, more eyes on the show, more ears listening in. And the reason why that's important to me is not because I want people to see and know me, but I truly, honestly believe that there is so much value in the conversations we're having, and there's so much value offered by the people that we're having these conversations with that I think apply to so many different areas of life. I mean, we've had pastors on the show, we've had business people, we've had Hollywood folks, right? Like actors and stuff. We've had relationship therapists. We've had all kinds of different backgrounds and stuff, and all of them have added some layer of value, even to myself. There's been something that I was able to take away from each of them, and the idea behind the show was to positively impact those that listen to it. And so for me, I'd love to just have a bigger platform with more eyes and more ears. And I'd love to have, hopefully daily, but whenever they come in, I'll be grateful for them. But I hope to get some feedback from people that say, you know what, man, your show has shifted this in a positive way for me, or because of episode whatever, right? Like my business just went through the roof, or my family and my relationship with my wife just improved, or my kids, or whatever the case may be. So for me, on a grand scale, that would ultimately be, I think, the biggest payoff for me. But yeah, man, just getting in front of more people, bigger stage, making that impact that I know can be made. And then obviously continuing the therapy sessions, because for me this is therapeutic, and feeling good about it. So
absolutely, man. And I'm in 100% concurrence with that. I'll one of the things I was thinking about too, I was like, man, I would love, for us to get to ideally, I'd love for us to have a 7-figure amount of people reached by our platform next year.
Yeah,
bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, millions.
Let's get it. Next year, I'd love to have,
in different countries, different
all
continents,
over the place,
bro, the whole world.
And it's crazy because it's crazy when we look at the viewership, we see all these people that are watching and listening and everything. But I would, if I can pinpoint that, I would love to have it be over the million eyes on us next year. I would love next year. I'd love for us to talk about.
I got to work on my posture and stuff, man. I gotta get right.
I would love for us to be by next year for us to talk about the different like you said, the effects that we've had on people. And I would love for us to talk about how we had live shows with live audiences there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I would love for us to start tipping into that in live events. So live shows, live events, so that they can hear live from the guests that we're going to be having on, and have live input. This next year, I'd love for us to have live shows to continue to do, or for us to, to do more live shows, so then people can be messaging in live, right? So we can see what, whether it's questions or see what people are talking about, or see, so that's going to be another attribute that we're definitely going to be adding in to the platform. And, and us creating a unity, man, from all different walks of life, man. Because there's there's this whole, I don't want to get super lit, but there's this whole red and blue and, liberal and conservative and these folks and those folks. And, but the thing is, most folks haven't really been, because I want to put this in the right frame of mind. Go out there and see people, you know what I'm saying? And get experiences with people.
Yeah. Remove labels.
Exactly, man. Because at the end of the day, we're more alike than different, man.
100%, bro.
We're more alike
100%.
than different. So, I just want to get more exposure and bring more people together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? No matter whatever people's views are, whatever the case is, it makes for good conversation.
Yeah.
And the main, I think a lot of this stuff, a lot of this shit in the world that's going on, it's just because people aren't talking to each other, dude. So for us to have conversations with people, even if it is a contrary conversation, even if we don't always agree or whatever the case is with people that we're talking to, it doesn't matter. The main thing is us, we need to have the conversation so that we know, so we can see where each other's points coming from, man, and be able and respect each other's. Even if we agree to disagree, the main thing is, we respect each other,
100%,
and respecting the people that we're dealing with, man. And that's one thing. So next year, I would love to, for this next year to come up, man, and us to see, that type of growth and that type of impact, man, and to see the difference and the changes in lives that we're making, and to see the growth of the people that have been on the show too, whether it's previous guests, and maybe visit back with some of the folks and see what progressions that they've made, and creating alliances with people, and to look back and be like, man, we created alliances in this area, we've grown here, we started to do events here, starting to do that. And I would love for us to get to that, 7-figure viewership, great, 7-figure listenership too, and beyond, and create partnerships with different, having different types of sponsorships so we can start doing things and not maybe other countries, bro. Like, just imagine we got to go to England or go to Dubai or go to and do like live shows and visit with folks out there, and have just life changing experiences, and be able to bring the people that we love with us, man. Be able to take our families with us, be able to do that type of stuff, man. And I know all we got to do is just keep doing what we're doing and be consistent, bro.
Yeah.
And everything that we want and everything that we desire, it'll start lining up. It'll start lining up. And same thing for the people that are listening to this show, man. Do the work, it'll happen. Do the work, it'll happen. But please have a plan, though. Have a plan. And keep the plan top of mind.
Yeah.
Keep the plan at the forefront, man. Don't stack that plan away in a book or on a post-it note or wherever you're putting the plan at, man. And you close the book, and you don't open the book until June or July. Or worse, you don't open the book until the end of the year. But, oh, yeah, what was I talking about I was going to do? Yeah. The plan should always be at the top of mind. I would say every day. Every day, gotta have some type of whatever. If you have a Cliff Note version of your plan, or like the big things you want to get accomplished, man, those things have to be on top of mind every day. AKA, man, one of the things I want to focus on is affirmations, man, and speaking more positivity. Because I had a negative affirmation just a few minutes ago.
I think we all do it. It's kind of human nature, but the quicker we can pick up on it and
correct it. Huh?
Yeah, and correct it. Just think about what you're thinking about, and it's that self-awareness, man. I think self-awareness for me is going to be the biggest focus going into that new year. Just really trying to understand the thoughts that I'm having, why I'm having them, correct the ones that are not serving me, and and in doing so, I believe that that's going to increase my belief, increase my faith, increase productivity, increase service, increase the way I love my spouse, and our kids, and stuff like that. It's really just an awareness of that, again, thought process, and even some emotional intelligence is another area of focus for me going into this new year, is kind of controlling my emotions. I think it's probably the most important form of intelligence, is that emotional intelligence, and it's often overlooked and not ever really talked about. So,
yeah, especially among men.
Yeah, for sure, especially amongst men, right? Like we're all.
Yo, dude. Oh man. Oh, that could be a whole. You can talk about the cruise. Oh my gosh, we got have all type of. We're gonna have a lot of those conversations this year too, bro.
We are
just about becoming a better rock, just being a better, not dumb as a rock. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about being the source, bro.
Yeah,
being the source of for your family, man, and
The foundation, man.
being a foundation, bro. Strong foundation, man. We ain't no quicksand over here. We're not developing no quicksand dudes over here, man. Our focus is to build. Shoot, that'd be great too, man. To have that unity of men, man, where they can talk about things that they're where they can feel comfortable to talk about things that they're going through, right? But also stay accountable too. Like, hey, you said you was gonna do this, said you was gonna do that, said you're gonna do this. Where are we at, my G?
Yeah.
What we doing?
Yeah.
So having a group of people that'll check you, you know what I'm saying? And it's not a disrespect thing. It's not like they, harping on you or anything. But bro, sometimes, man, sometimes we need that checkup, bro. Like and I think probably more than I know that for myself. I had to tell some leadership, man, like, yo, it's okay, man, to give me, like, if I'm not performing to where you see me, to where you see that I could be performing at, hey, it's okay to be like, hey, bro, what's the problem? What are we doing here? Because here's where I see you. Here's what's up. And so if you know people around you that you have respect for, it's okay to let them know that they can talk to you a certain type of way. You know what I mean?
100%.
Because I think for some folks, and I know for me, man, it's like a coach, bro. Like you need like that. You need that coach. Sometimes some people are kind of too nice, and I think it's people just want to be liked or something like that. But let some of those folks around you be like, hey, you could check me, dude, and here's how I would probably like you to talk to me, because everything all the information you're telling me is great, but hey, if you see me not performing, let me know I'm not performing. Let me know I'm not performing.
Especially, I mean, if they're coming with good intentions, man.
Especially
like
with good intentions.
You can't be mad about, or you shouldn't be mad about, the course correction. If they got the best of intentions, which if you are aware of your associations and in proximity to people you want to be like, there should be no, oh, they spoke to me the wrong way or whatever. Like, isn't it true, man? The best friends are the ones that'll tell you got a booger hanging out of your nose, or you got something in your beard or on your chin. Or
Hands
like,
is ashy, cuz.
Yeah, bro. Like, you look. Or, hey, man.
But y'all can't see him down the table.
Or your
low
dad,
key.
your pops. Like, hey, man, you getting a little fat, right? Like, bro, it might have hurt your feelings a little bit, but like, what is he supposed to tell you?
The body, bro.
You looking like you're in great shape. Like, it's just not true, right?
Hey, you looking a little thick there, man.
Man,
oh, okay, all right, yeah. I can take that all type of ways.
Your bone's still growing, apparently, bro. You big boned it, huh? Don't all skeletons look the same size, bro? Like, people are crazy shit. Like,
that's funny, though. Yeah, bro. I ain't never seen no big bones. Hey, but that's real. You have to. It's like working out, bro. You have to shock the body, because when you plateau, it's because you're comfortable. Even if you have been doing the same workouts and stuff like that, even if you have been working out, you have to shock the body sometimes. And that course correction, sometimes when it's given with a velvet glove, and there's all, bun meat bun, there's ways to have conversations. But, sometimes in some people, especially if you've ever been in any sport or you've been in any type of activity like that, man, a player can only you can only take yourself so far, but a coach is supposed to take you to where you can't even, it's supposed to take you that extra mile. Like, a person can take themselves to 8 by themselves, but as far as what they probably feel their own ability is, like their max, a coach is supposed to take you to 10 and beyond.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
But how do they do that? How does that ability exist for a coach to be able to do that? And the answer to that is they're seeing things that you're not seeing, right? It's a different perspective looking at. And so when you understand that people are seeing things that maybe you're not seeing, whether positive or negative, that you can improve on, man, you should take it. And the willingness of them to say something should be invaluable to you if it's only going to improve you. So,
Word, man.
Not to beat a dead horse, but yeah, I'm speaking to myself there, by the way, because I could be more coachable.
Yeah.
I could be a better follower for sure.
All of us, man. I mean, I'm taking that on the head too. But man, bro, I think this year has been a great one. There's been a lot of progression. There's work we can do. There's work that we are doing, and there's work that we're going to continue to do. But this next year, man, you talk about leaps and bounds, but I feel like this year is gonna be one of those most pivotal years, my life, and if I can speak for you, I feel like in your life too, it's gonna be one of the most pivotal years, as far as, damn, we did that.
Bro, this summer about to be colder than winter.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? So, man, and I'm sure I'm finished up, man. I'm excited. But man, but what I want to do is appreciate you guys, appreciate our viewers, our listeners, appreciate the guests that have come on, and spent time with us. Because they're taking time out of their day and busy lives and busy schedules, and they got to move stuff around too. So we appreciate them and appreciate them for giving just invaluable information, man. So I greatly appreciate them for getting on with us, and I appreciate my wife. I really appreciate her for empowering me, because she sees stuff in me, bro. I'm like, damn, word, okay, cool. Like, it just gives me like that little extra. She's like, come on, you got this. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, all right, cool, we there. So I appreciate her, and I appreciate the mentorship. I appreciate the coaching this year. And my focus is to prove the people that see the best of me. I want to prove them right. I'm not worried about proving anybody wrong. I'm not worried about, ain't worried about no haters. I ain't worried about nothing like that. I don't even see any of that stuff. But what I do see is the people that see something in me, man. And I want to, prove those people right. And that's something that's exciting for me to do, man. But 2022, man, it's coming in hot. You know what I mean? About
yes,
you,
sir.
man.
Hey, same. I've said all I wanted to say. I'm excited for that clock to hit 12. Not that the movements haven't started already, and we're going into the year on a different level. But yeah, I'm grateful for our friendship, for our relationship. Absolutely, that we continue to build and nurture. I'm grateful for the platform that we have, both in business and the podcast, and the reach that we're going to have. And I'm excited to continue to grow it. I'm excited, to have some of those positive impacts and start getting those feedbacks from the millions and millions of viewers that are inevitably coming. So, man, it's only up from here, and I'm looking forward to it, brother.
The millions. Oh my gosh, man, The Rock, boy. Hey, yo, hey, put this out there in the universe. Hey, The Rock, hey, Dwayne. You here, my G? You coming through? I'm gonna just let you. I'm just put that in the universe, man. The Rock is gonna be on the show. You know what I'm saying? He coming on, man. I'm just putting it out there in the universe, man. It's somebody to catch it. But man, I want to thank you guys, man, for for sticking with us and riding with us, and share, like, subscribe, tap in. We definitely have some groups and things like that we're going to be putting, that we're building out, that you guys are going to be able to get a part of. Man, be a part of that diamond mine, right?
Yes, sir.
Part of that diamond mine. And man, stay tuned. But man, stay blessed. Happy New Year to everybody out there. Be safe.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And hold the ones you love close, man. And live life on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Live life on purpose, man. But hey, without no further ado, no pressure.
No diamonds.
Let's get it.
So fucking hour and a half, huh?
Just an hour.
We went in on it. No, really?
Yeah.